Welcome back. It is week 3 of our child development series with quite possibly the angel child that is Hazel. Oh my God, she's the best. And this morning we're looking at activities to keep your 4 to 6 month old baby happy and developing.
Yes, child development expert and founder of Cognikids, Ollwyn Moran, joins us now with beautiful Hazel. Good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Hazel.
Hi.
How are you?
We can't just do this for 6 minutes. I know that's not what we do. So we're going 4 to 6 months. We're stepping through the milestones here. So is this a variation on what we would have done in previous weeks? Or we're like adding more in?
Yeah, exactly. So we're kind of looking at different reflexes now as well. So I was talking before about previous reflexes that help in the birthing process and that really should be kind of integrated before they're 12 months. So there's other ones now as well that we can start to work on to help to integrate those.
Okay.
So that they
like
will
what?
be gone. So there's a reflex called the ATNR reflex, which is called the asymmetrical tonic neck reflex.
The asymmetrical tonic neck reflex.
Okay,
That's
we
brilliant.
got it.
I feel there's a rap there somewhere.
Yeah. So what is this?
So it's basically when your little one is lying. So we'll just pop little one down.
Are you ready,
here.
Hazel?
Yeah, we ready for this,
Are you
Hazel?
ready?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you looking
Are you
at?
ready? Oh, my hands were always so cold.
Hello, hello, hello.
But it's
Hello, hello, hello.
basically, so it's starting to integrate in Hazel now already, which is great. And so it's basically when the head kind of moves to one side,
Yeah.
what happens is the arm on that side will straighten and the leg on that side will also straighten. And then at the back of the head, the arm and the leg will bend. So you might have seen it in sleeping babies.
Okay.
So when they're asleep, they tend to be
The
like
arm
that.
goes out.
Yes.
And the arm is like that. The arm and the leg on that side are bent.
So that's the asymmetric tonic reflex.
Yes, it is
It's
indeed.
happening. You've
So
got
it's a
tonic
primitive
reflex.
reflex, so we're still kind of early brain stage.
Yeah.
So we want to see that integrated so that higher brain functioning can come in. The function of this is actually to help to start to wire the hand-eye coordination in. It
Okay.
also helps to develop the muscles because every time that the head moves, the arm and the leg straighten. So it's moving those muscles on this side.
And babies might
then-
have a preferred side, so then obviously they won't be working the other side as
So
much.
ideally,
Would
yeah.
babies
so
have a preferred side?
Well,
do we know?
So technically not at this age.
No.
They really don't tend to become one-sided until they're around 4 or so, believe it or not.
Oh, right,
Even though a lot of people, kind of, they might start to just use the left or the right a little bit more frequently. It's just that actually don't continue to give on both sides, equal stimulation on both sides, because the brain is actually still only wiring into the body. So it might just be that there's a little bit more kind of advanced wiring on one side. But if you don't stimulate the other side, then it's not going to catch up. And then they won't develop that preferred sidedness.
So then how do we work
So,
this?
well, the critical thing with this is actually that if it is retained, it can actually even impact on reading, on writing. So, like in a school setting, you might see it where a child has a very awkward or heavy pen grip and they almost like, kind of like pierce through the page.
Yeah.
Or they tilt a page to write.
Yeah.
So because if you imagine just, they're sitting at a desk and they're trying to take down the notes, and even that, the re-establishment of binocular vision is what it's called, but so it's far vision to close vision, that can also be impacted. But also then as they're, right from this, so this is why it is so crucial.
Yeah.
But so as they're writing, as they turn their head, what happens? What does the arm want to do?
Yeah.
It wants to straighten out, and they know that it feels uncomfortable, but it's no different to them. They've never had any other experience in the world. So what they will try to do is they'll try to hold on to their arm and really kind of have a really tight grip just to stop, like so that they can actually keep the page straight. Or they'll tilt the page
So
that
they
they
can
write
write
that way.
right, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and of course, then that will also affect reading because it means then that the eyes, as they come across, they will actually stop. So if the right one is kind of tracking, first of all, then it'll stop in the centre and then the left one will take over.
Okay.
So you can lose position on a page and things like that. So really what it means is in a school-going child, if they have this reflex retained, it means that they're focusing and putting a huge amount of energy into the mechanics of what they're doing rather than the content of what they're learning. So then they fall behind.
Okay.
And, so it's really, if we can at this stage
So what will
focus
parents
on
need
things
to
like
do
that.
then?
What
Yeah.
can they
So
do?
what can we do? What can we do to help you? Huh? that? Well, as I was saying, I was just checking her little reflex earlier there, and it seems to be really integrating really nicely at the moment. So it's not very strong. So I'm not going to inflict the head turn on her. But really important things to do is playing in the centre, so encouraging the hands to come into the middle. And as you can see there, her hands are in the middle there, but we can also encourage coming into this midline here. So we get their gaze in the centre.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is, can I borrow your hands for a second?
She doesn't want
Can
to.
I borrow your
she
hands?
Wants to put them in her face.
And we're going to just kind of show her what to do. That's it, good girl.
Good girl.
And then we'll just dip over and other hand there. So you're really kind of just teaching them the little movements.
And you're staying in the midline.
And you're staying in the
centre.
midline, exactly. So she's keeping her eyes on here and we're focusing here. Good girl. And then you let it go. And then, good girl. Thank you. Can I have that back? She's a great palmer.
There's a great grip on that, yeah.
And then you can bring that back again, and then she should try to reach for it herself.
And she is.
And she will do.
Straight into the mouth.
But so again, it's building up on skills like that. And then what we're doing as well is we want to make sure that we're crossing. So crossing this midline, we have this invisible midline.
Yeah.
So the 18R currently, if you imagine, if we cross down this side, the legs and the arm on this side are doing the same thing, they're straightening. The legs and the arm on this side are bending, and vice versa. So that's kind of like she's almost like operating separately on either side.
Yeah.
So we want to encourage the brain to really build and coordinate with each other so that this arm and this leg can actually bend and operate together, and this arm and this leg can bend and operate together. So we're bridging, that bridge between the two hemispheres is called the corpus callosum, and at this point it's almost like the M50. We need to kind of get it wiring between the two sides. So another great...
Get the M50 working, that'd be great. Yeah. That's another day.
Yeah, well, so exactly.
How do we do this then?
So another great thing to do is if you're... Yes. So you can hear the cooing coming in. She's starting to find her voice. So a great thing to do is from the hips here, if you put your thumbs behind her knees here, and then just very, very gently, you're supporting her at the hips here. And if you feel any resistance, don't do this activity, obviously. But this is actually called the wind removing pose in yoga. So we'll prefix that now, just in case.
As to what could happen.
Just in case. And we're just rolling up. Rolling gently, and we're showing Hazel her toes.
She's smiling.
We're showing her toes. Yeah, here you go.
So she can recognise them, because at this stage, these things, they don't belong to her.
They don't. She doesn't know that these are hers. So we've got a little resistance there. And then another thing we can do. Can I borrow this hand again? Thank you.
Sure.
And then we're just going to...
touching the toes.
What was that?
I'm sorry. And we'll bring our toes and our hands. Look. That's your toe.
So between 4 to 6 months, you're letting them recognise all of these things. And we talked about tummy time. In this stage, do we want to try to start making them roll? Like
well,
4
so
to 6
this is
months?
all actually, this is really helping, because the 18R can actually impact the development of rolling and then crawling. And crawling really helps that cross crawl really helps to fully integrate that 18R because it's doing the opposite. So it's that cross pattern.
Yeah.
So it's opposite hand, opposite leg, opposite hand, opposite leg. So it really helps to wire that in.
And Ollwyn, I know you always say when we have you on that children develop at different stages, so don't panic if your child is at this stage and maybe not doing what you think.
Yes, yeah. And, I suppose it's going back to the milestones, and there's a bit of drama around those milestones in the last week or so because they've just been updated for the first time in decades. But really, milestones are guidelines, and the ideal is that they actually go through the milestones, kind of sequentially, not skipping them at all.
And we are going to get to them the next time because you've got to do way more. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. To the wonderful Hazel and Ollwyn Moran from Cognikids. Thank you so much for all of your help this morning. Thank you.
Absolute dote. Now, still to come in RLDM, our scientist Phil Smith has plenty of experiments to keep your little ones entertained because it's midterm break.
Keep us entertained. We'll talk to you very shortly.